welcome back. It's Devaney Styles back with you. Thank you so much for joining in on this next segment. I'm going to get started with a few announcements just to make sure you guys are familiar with everything that's going on today. First off, make sure you share your thoughts. We want to hear everything that you guys have to say today. So drop it in the chat. Let me know any questions that you have for myself or for any of the panelists today. Also, this is a fashion event. So show us what you're working with. We want to see your outfit. Y'all see me. I'm shining today. Shout out to Win Styles Boutique, a Black-owned business that I love to work with here in Orlando. We want to see your threads. We want to see your outfit too, not just mine. So make sure you guys use the hashtag. So the hashtag is BLK Room FX for fashion experience. So hashtag BLK Room FX and tag Black Room Project on Instagram. So we want to see your outfits. Make sure you hashtag, make sure you tag us. We want to see the selfies. We want to see the outfits. We want to thank our vendors. Again, thank you so much to DTLR and AN1. Make sure you check them out at the vendor booths. Make sure you check out the 7 Minutes in Heaven. This is a really exciting fashion styling one-on-one experience. We've got Luis Ayuso from 4 to 5. You get to hop in there and get some one-on-one style advice from a professional wardrobe stylist. Where else can you get that, y'all? Where else can you get that? Make sure you check out your Black bag. So we've got a virtual gift bag for you guys today. We did not forget about the swag that always comes with a fashion event. So make sure you guys check it out. Make sure all you have to do is click the black button, jumping all over my words, Black Bag Room button. And you guys can check out all the swag that they have there available for you from our vendors. And don't forget, last but not least, we want you to network. Even though this is virtual, we want you guys to meet like-minded people today. So make sure you jump into the networking lounge to chat with people. Today, we want you to meet new people. We want you to gather, ask any questions, and I'll be there as well later on today. So we are about to hop right in our next conversation, owning your own shit. We are welcoming Jalen Renee today. How are you?
I'm great. I'm so excited to be a part of this.
We are so excited to have you. I'm so excited to chat with you. I know nothing about trademarking, so I'm about to hop right in with these questions, and I want you to give us all the tea about everything we need to know. So I'm super excited.
I'm ready.
So we're going to start off with a little fun game called This or That. So this is kind of like a spitfire round. Just give me the first thing that comes to mind when I call out these two things. You ready?
Okay.
Okay, ready. All right. So first off, so this or that, fast fashion or thrifting?
Thrifting.
Thrifting, 100%. Okay. Online store or in-store? For shopping?
In-store.
In-store. Okay, I'm an in-store girl too. I like to try on. I don't know. I know you can try it on when you get home, but okay. Last one. So while you're working from home, are you a loungewear or a PJs type of person?
Loungewear with a blazer sitting right next to me just in case.
Right, in case you need to just grab it, get a little professional with it, turn on the video on the Zoom call.
For sure.
Exactly. All right, so we are going to hop right into getting to know you a little bit more. So can you just kind of introduce yourself to everybody and tell us a little bit about who you are?
Absolutely. First of all, I just want to say thank you to Team Black Room. This is such an amazing experience. I'm so impressed with how you guys are working and the attention to detail. So I just feel honored to be a part of this experience. So a little bit about myself. Like she said, my name is Jalen Renee. I am the managing partner at a law firm called the J. Parks Firm. And at the J. Parks Firm, focus on a couple of areas of law. One of those being intellectual property, business, and family law. And so growing up, I was always creative. I always was really into clothes and fashion, but I was a nerd too. So as I got older and trying to choose my career, I wasn't quite sure of how I was going to mesh my creative side with this, this kind of archaic side of the law. And so after doing a lot of research, and talking and networking, I realized that there was a legal side of fashion. And so I've done my research. I'm doing a lot of reading and getting involved and attracting new clients. And one big area of fashion is, of course, intellectual property. And so that's what has landed me here. Listen, I'm that lawyer who I'm going to court in pink and red suits. I have on pumps. I really believe in being authentic, and when I'm able to be authentic and express myself through fashion, I am at my best. And so I often encourage others to do that as well. I think the creative space is something special. And I think that it's really important that creatives, such as, the people who are listening today, that they know and understand how they can protect their brand so that they can really begin to grow their businesses and understand the value of their intellectual property. So thank you so much for having me here. I look forward to, diving into this conversation and dropping these keys on you guys.
Perfect. And we thank you so much. Like, that is so important. A lot of times people don't think about, that the back end of things, the legal side of things. We want to be protected, especially in the world that we live in with so many creatives and, so much content that we're producing. We want to be protected too. So that's awesome.
Absolutely.
So we are talking about the trademarking process today. So can you give us a little bit of information about what trademarking is and what's the process? What does that look like?
Absolutely. So, trademarking is a form of intellectual property. And as I'm corresponding with new people, I realize that some people get trademarking mixed up with copywriting and patent. And so I want to be clear that we're discussing trademarking today. And so what is trademarking? Trademarking is about protecting your brand, the source of your brand. So what can be trademarked? You can trademark your business name, your business logo, any tagline that's affiliated with your business, or even if there's a sound that's affiliated with your business. So what am I talking about? We could talk about McDonald's, Dove soap, YSL, Dolce and Gabbana. Those are all names of brands, and they have those exclusive rights to be able to protect the notoriety in their brand. And so, when you think about trademarking, I want you always to think about the source of goods. For example, Nike, that Nike, that sign, that symbol is very, very recognizable. The name is recognizable. But when you see Nike clothes, you don't necessarily always see the Nike symbol or the Nike name, but it, the source of the goods. So always think of how are you differentiating your brand from others, and how are you going to protect it? That's the way I want you guys to think about trademarking. Now, when it comes to what does it take to go through the trademarking process, I will say that it's a 6 to 8 month process to actually gain trademark registration. And because of COVID, of course, everything is stretched out and it takes much more time. But what is the process? So essentially, it's just important to note that when you're applying for trademarks, there are different standards. And one of those, of course, is likelihood of confusion. Okay. A lot of people wonder and talk about whether or not trademarking is about having the same name as someone else, when it's actually about whether or not your brand could cause a likelihood of confusion with someone else's, right? And so that's one of the things I always tell my clients. Think about how unique your name is, so that as you're building notoriety and your brand, that you can differentiate yourself from others. Okay. So, Devaney, in terms of the process, there's an application process where you are collecting things that are called specimens to show and identify how you are using your brand. And so we do this through a government agency called the USPTO. That stands for the United States Patent and Trademark Office. Okay, this is a federal agency that helps you to protect your brand that all these registrations go through. And so we file the application. Through my office, we do what's called an extensive knockout search before we actually file your application, so that we can first make sure that there are no other brands out there that could prohibit your registration, and then also to give you that knowledge so that you know how unique your brand is and what are some competitors that you should be aware of. And so after we do that knockout search, we just file the application. Now, sometimes you can file the application under a 1A application, which essentially means you're currently using the name in the stream of commerce, or a 1B application, which means you have an intent to use it. So let's say, Devaney, you came up with a fashion line, and you and your girls are talking about it, and you haven't actually started to produce it yet. You can file what's called a 1B intent to use application, because after you actually start to use the name in the stream of commerce, meaning start to sell and produce goods, then you can actually finalize the trademark registration, because once you roll out your brand, it will already be protected. So, those are two different ways to trademark your brand. Now, have you guys seen where people have that TM in the corner of their name and the R? Yeah. Okay, so when you see that. Exactly. So when you see that TM in the corner of a brand or of a name or a logo, that's an indication that that person or that business has actually filed for trademark protections. Now, if you see someone with that R in the circle, that means that they actually have gained trademark registration. And so that's how you put the public on notice that you have gained those exclusive rights in your brand.
Okay. Quick question with that. Do you have to have it with your logo always? Is that like a legal thing?
Well, yes, absolutely. So it's about providing notice, because when you use that TM and that R, that's giving everyone else that notice that you've applied for protections, or that you have exclusive use of the name or brand. And so if you're not using those protections, someone else could come along later and say, hey, I didn't know she had exclusive rights to it. She didn't even put us on notice. She didn't even use the R or the TM in the corner of her name to indicate that she has gone through this process. So if you get your trademark and you go through this process, I often have to tell my clients, hey, don't forget to put that R, don't forget to put that TM, so that everyone knows that you've initiated this process.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
How much does it cost to get this done?
Yes, so trademarking definitely varies, because when you file a trademark, it's important to note that you don't have exclusive rights of the name across the board. Okay, you have to identify a class or a business category that you wish to occupy. So, for example, of course, I just use Dove as an example. So, Dove soap, right? We have Dove soap and we have Dove chocolates. These two businesses are able to coexist and both have a trademark, because they're in they are not in related classes, right? So Dove is in the class of health and beauty and wellness, things like that. Where Dove chocolates, of course, that's under foods and desserts. So for each class that you wish to occupy, it's filing fees start at $275 and they can go up to $350. Filing fees actually just went up at the beginning of the year. And so those filing fees are going to be the baseline of what it takes for you to file your trademark. Now, when it comes to attorney fees, they definitely vary based on what the attorney provides with their trademark package and the attorney's level of expertise. And so what I've seen is that trademark packages certainly range from about, I would say, about $1,300 to about $2,500, depending on what is included in that package.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. So if there's someone out there that is feels like they're ready to trademark, how do you know when is the right time to trademark your business?
Sure. There is no time like the present to trademark your business. Okay. I've done a lot of trademarking and I have several clients, and there are horror stories out there, guys. I've had people come and I had one client who she was in business for 2 years. Okay, she garnered a large following. She had her brand really solidified, and she had garnered a really large customer base. Then she came to me and got her trademark. And once I did my preliminary knockout search, I had to tell her, sis, hey, there's someone else out there who has a name similar to yours. And by continuing to use this name, she was opening herself up to liability. So you know what she had to do? She had to redo her whole brand. She had to change her name. She had to redo her logo. She had to have a liquidation sale to get rid of everything. I mean, it was a lot of money that was invested in her brand because she didn't do it on the front end. And so I always say, you want to do it ASAP. And ASAP means, if you have the idea and you know that you want to go forward with it, we can do an intent to use trademark so that once you roll your brand out, it's already protected. However, if you currently have a brand, a fashion brand that you are selling or using, no time like the present. Let's stop now. Let's do the trademark. Let's do the application and make sure that you're doing it for a couple of reasons. One, you want exclusivity in your brand. This is your baby. Your business is your baby. You put your heart and soul into this. This is something that you didn't do it's not a hobby. You're trying to build a legacy, right? You want to make some good money. So, it's important for you to make that front end investment and have due diligence and go for that exclusivity in your name. But by the same token, you want to make sure that you aren't infringing on someone else's trademark. The client that I just referenced, she didn't know that there was she was in Georgia, and the person who she was possibly infringing upon was in California. You don't necessarily know that that those issues could come up, but it's just important for you to be proactive about your brand and not reactive just when something comes up.
Yeah, no, that's important.
To answer your question, do it as soon as you can, because it is an investment into your business. However, it's going to be important that you're protecting yourself from the get-go.
Okay. And we're coming to the end of everything, but I do have another question. If you could give us the top 3 things to remember when you're considering like trademarking, what would you say are the top 3 things?
Well, here's the thing, trademarking is really important when you're building a business. One way to build wealth is by having an intangible asset like your intellectual property. So your name, your logo, your slogan, those things are all intellectual property and assets of your business. You want to protect those. You want to have exclusive rights and understand that as your brand grows, the value of your intellectual property grows with it. So keep that in mind. How are you building those assets and protecting those assets as you go forward and build your brand? Secondly, I want you guys to know having an LLC or having your handles on social media, that means absolutely nothing as it pertains to you having exclusive rights in your brand. Clients come to me and say, hey, I already have my LLC. Can I get my trademark now? I know I'm fine. And that's not the case. You have to know and understand that when you get your LLC, that's on a state level and not on a federal level. Trademarks are on a federal level. Your LLC is on a state level. Trademarks trump state laws. So definitely keep that in mind. And it's all about brand protection. If and when you get your trademark, it's something that you need to continuously do. You need to continuously be guarding against infringers. You need to know and respond to people who are possibly infringing on your brand or on your works. So for example, if you see someone using your name or logo or in a store or something similar to it, you need to figure out who the source of the infringement is and get with cease and desist. Because if you are not protecting your brand, it can be seen as you acquiescing as you agreeing to their use. And so, you know, trademarking is an investment in your business, but that's what serious entrepreneurs do. You know, that's how you identify a hustler from an entrepreneur, okay? A hustler is out there to get the bag. An entrepreneur is trying to build a legacy to change their families and their communities and really leave an impact. So I want you guys to really figure out, which one are you? Are you a hustler or are you an entrepreneur?
Get us together in the closing, please. Get us together in the closing. So yes, we are wrapping it up, but I want everybody to make sure that they know where to find you. And also, I know you're not going to be here a little bit later, so we want everybody to know how they can get in contact with you if they have any more questions or anything that we didn't get to. I know I saw a couple questions in the chat.
Sure, absolutely. I would love to connect with you all. I pride myself in being an educator. And so sometimes it's not about trying to get your money. I mean, I want money, right? I got to have a business, but I also find passion in inspiring people and giving education about this area of law. So if you want to get in contact with me, please follow me on Instagram. My name is JALYN_the lawyer. Shoot me a DM. If you have any follow-up questions, I'm happy to schedule a follow-up call, or if I get enough questions, I may go live on Monday, meet you guys there. I'm on Clubhouse often, so find me on Clubhouse, follow me. I'm always on Clubhouse and on Instagram talking about trademarking and protecting your brand. So I would love to connect with you guys, and I look forward to seeing you.
Thank you so much. We are about to wrap up, and we are going to have another break. It's a quick 10-minute break. So thank you so much, Jalen. We appreciate all the information that you dropped today, all the gems. And I'm going to make sure I definitely hit you in your DMs because I have a few questions too. So thank you so much for everything today.
Nice to meet you, girlie, and good luck with everything.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah.